Well, hello. This is Shane Hacker, Assistant Principal from Brownsburg High School. I'm here to give you a little bit of information about our laptop program that all of our seniors will be participating in for next year. Again, this is just to help you as a family make an intelligent decision on whether you'd like to rent a laptop from the high school here, or if you'd like to bring in your own personal device for students to use next year and beyond. I'll first get into kind of the vision of the Senior Academy and kind of answer the question, why now? Why as a senior are we waiting to give the students laptops? And one of those reasons is that the students are just more mature at that age, and so but as the vision for the Senior Academy that was built 6 years ago was established, we kind of took a look at what we wanted our graduates to the skills they wanted to have and be able to do, and we wanted graduates who were skilled, self-directed, analytical thinkers who are prepared to compete and collaborate in a technical and global society. And so that 21st century skills is a buzzword that's very, very popular right now. And so we thought that for students to truly be prepared for that next step, that we needed to just give them more opportunities. And so we decided to go with the one-to-one computing. And so what does that mean? Just, we want students to have access to information 24/7. Now there's good and bad to that, but again, part of this process is students learning what's right and wrong when it comes to technology and using that, and what's appropriate, not appropriate. But the 24/7 access to information and also just creates more opportunities in the classroom. Our teachers have been trained in teaching in a one-to-one environment, and so I just think that truly enhances what we're trying to do. It's modern technology coupled with some old-fashioned values and good sense to maximize the learning potential. We want students to be able to make connections beyond the classroom and have the resources to do so. There's lots of examples I could give you, but truly the possibilities are endless when we have things like free things like Skype and ways to just connect students to the outside world. Just create students who are thinkers and effective communicators and just have a high amount of productivity. Right now the student is in study hall or for the last 3 years, and if they needed to get something done on the computer, type a paper or do some research or whatever, they have to find a pass and head down to the library or media center, spend a few minutes logging in, and then have to log back out, walk back down to the class to check in, and so not as efficient as what we would like it to be. And so at this point in time, students, doesn't matter where they're at, they will be able to continue to work and do things, submit assignments, everything that they need to do to continue, like I said, just being productive. We see a lot of students, or some people ask, well, what do you do with those laptops? Well, a lot of times students use them to take, just to keep their notes. It does come with Microsoft OneNote, and it seems to, as I go through meetings myself, or maybe you, that kind of the handwritten note taking is kind of fallen by the wayside, and so just giving students the opportunity to take notes electronically and keep those in folders on their computer. We're also making a big switch for a lot of teachers are using the My Big Campus, or some sort of learning management system. A lot of students will be using that as they move on to college, to submit work or to access assignments, to print things off, to look at note pages. And so just giving students access to that computer allows them to access that with much more ease and do things just be much more efficient. Obviously, students will have the opportunity to do research wherever they're at, be able to create multimedia presentations and know how to plug that into a projector if they need to, and again, so some of those other skills that are required to be successful in the outside workforce in the business world. And again, I already mentioned kind of that effective communication piece. Students have access to, we want them to email us and find ways to ask us questions and come down and talk to us. But again, just another way to provide them with that access. And then collaborative learning. Students get together and putting together presentations and working hard and having the multimedia to do that is something that's very, very important to us. So let's go ahead and talk about the computer options. And so again, two options, real simple. Either you're rent a laptop from us, or you're going to bring in your own personal laptop to use. And I'll start kind of with the renting laptop first. As right now right now we'll continue to have the HP EliteBook 2540p PCs. They are, I think, 5 years old and no longer under warranty. And so they're $225 per year to rent those from us as a school. That is just added on to the book rental. And so, however book rental is handled for you, and if you receive assistance in that area, that'll be handled the exact same way. In order for students to us to issue that, they must show us a protective case that they're going to keep that in. Again, we understand that students have a lot of backpacks and things, but as they drop those or sling them around, and we want to keep and preserve our laptops as much as possible for a couple reasons. We want to keep them around, but two, if students start to damage those, the costs can really start adding up, and ultimately that might fall in the hands of you as the parent or guardian to take care of that. And again, we don't want that to happen either. $225 is enough, and so repair costs, if something were to happen with our own laptops, we do go ahead and do those on site. If it's something that just goes wrong, the hard drive goes out, or the keyboard quits working, and then something that just goes wrong, that just happens. We will try to assist with cost there. However, without the warranty anymore, some things that were to happen, even if it might have been the fault of the student, we might be able to sway the company to give us a little bit of deal and a break and cover that under the warranty. We're not going to be able to have that option any longer. And so things which the students do, the computers, the cost to replace those and fix those will come back on the student and parent. And so if they were to lose the PC, the fee for that is $1,778. A damaged screen, if they drop it and the screen cracks, it's $460. If spilling Coke or pop or whatever on the keyboard where it doesn't work, $85. If they're download a virus because they're on places they shouldn't be, especially that would happen at home when they're not on our system, to reimage that is $20. If something goes wrong with the cord AC adapter, that's $105. So the dog chews it up or whatever. And if they remove the sticker from the computer, that's important. It has the kind of the model number and the barcode for us to keep track of who has that. That would be a $20 replacement fee. If you are bringing in your own, and I have some information. It's not necessarily on that slide either, but doesn't matter. Even if you bring in your own, all acceptable use policy, social media policy guidelines will apply. Now, again, when they're on our system, that's very easy to manage, because if they're on our system, they are under our same filters and things that we have for all of our computers. Again, whether they're renting or bringing their own, they'll be all on the same system there. Now, we obviously cannot monitor everything that happens outside of school, and again, that's part of that responsibility piece of students knowing what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, but also we'll ask you guys to help us and assist that with making sure that students are doing what they're supposed to be doing. It has to be if it's a PC, we have to have a Vista operating system or newer, and so that our software will not work with anything older than that. So that'd be Vista Windows 7 or Windows 8, or anything, like I said, newer than Windows Vista. Macs can also be used. We do find that the connection rate is a little tad bit slower with Macs than we do our PCs. And I've been told that the MacBook Pro does seem to work a little bit better than the Air, and so that's just some bits of information that the technology staff has shared with me. But one thing we do require, if you're bringing it on, it has to have an up-to-date virus software. I've also been told that Norton does give us a little bit of the most trouble working with. But there are some free ones out there that work just fine, and if you have questions like that, you can email me if you're curious into some options there of the antivirus protection. The school, once if you make a decision to bring it in, the school will look at that, make sure it meets all those requirements, and then the school will install some software that's called VMware or VDI, which basically just means it's a virtual desktop. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of computer you bring in. When students are here on campus and they log in to our system, essentially they'll be using a virtual desktop that's like a Windows 7 PC. And again, what it doesn't matter, it's Mac or Windows system that we have already, or that they bring in, everyone's background and things will be the exact same. Again, Windows 7 virtual desktop. The nice thing about that is through the virtual desktop, it does provide access to Microsoft Office 2013. Now again, if you have your personal own device, that is only available through the VDI. And so once you graduate and head off to college, that no longer stays with that computer. But as they're a senior here and just log into our system, they do have access to that, which could save you money just for senior year. But if it was beyond, obviously that would have to be purchased. If you bring in your own laptop, the repairs all repairs fall responsibility of the student or parent. We do not look at those. And so, if something goes wrong, that has to be handled either through the warranty of the computer that you purchased, or through the store, or Best Buy Geek Squad, or whatever that you're going to use. But our technology staff will not necessarily look at those if something goes wrong. Now, if it's a simple question like, I'm not sure why this is happening, maybe they'll give some insight. But if it comes to actually repairing it, we do the repairs on our own rental laptops on site, but we won't touch the computers that are brought in. Other things to think about: battery life is important, especially if you're going to buy a new one. You want to make sure it has a strong battery life, and we'd like to have one that would last throughout the day. Screen size, comfortability, what are going to be happy with, big screen, little screen, and again, just overall personal preference. But just all things to think about when you're bringing in your own laptop to use. If you do rent a laptop from us, we do work with a third-party group, Worth Avenue, that I believe premiums run between $80 and $86, depending on what kind of deductible you'll be looking at. Again, we saw the repair costs on there; they can be expensive. So if you're concerned that your student might not handle that as well as you'd like, maybe this is an option for you. Again, this is not mandatory, but just something that we work through this third party to offer. Again, it's not through BHS; it's through the Worth Avenue group, and so that just to assist you in those areas. Some things might also be able to be covered under your homeowner's insurance. Just something for you to check and also look at your deductible. Just good information to know there. As I mentioned, Macs are available or are acceptable to bring in if you're going to bring in your own. We get a lot of questions about iPads and tablets. Those are also compatible for use down in the Senior Academy. Just again, all devices, if you're asking questions to the sales associate, if you're unsure, we have to have the device that runs the VMware or the virtual desktop, and we can work on an Android or iOS capable machines, and so we were able to use any of those for you. Now the thing about bringing in, this would bring in your own computer of any type, not just an iPad or tablet. But a lot of people like the iPads and tablets because of the different apps, or even a new Windows 8 computer have all the different apps, the different bells and whistles that make it, just an overall very useful tool. Unfortunately, here on campus, when students log into that or log into our system, the apps and other things that maybe might go along with the newer computer do go away. Again, they log into the virtual desktop. They're working on a Windows 7 PC machine essentially at all times. And so just some things to think about if students say, I'm not able to use this. Well, it's because the apps and things aren't available. Our system is not capable of doing that yet. And so other things to think about, with an iPad or tablet, a lot of those do not have the keyboards attached, but if students are asked to do a lot of typing, that's something you're going to probably want to think about, or if it's, that could be an investment, especially if you're going to keep that later on and use it in other areas, probably something you want to do, but again, it just is more cost. Again, as I mentioned, unable to use the apps due to our virtual desktop. And again, school doesn't provide any technical assistance on those items or any item that you bring in, only on the items that we are renting. So, up until maybe even last year, all the seniors have to go through a mandatory laptop meeting. We ask students and parents to attend, and for us, that's going to be on Sunday, July 20th and Monday, July 21st at 7 o'clock in the auditorium. And so it's going to be this night, essentially, that we're going to ask you to make a decision on whether you're going to rent or whether you're going to bring in your own device. And I think we've heard in the past, or some complaints we've heard in the past, is that night or that 24-hour between that laptop meeting and registration, it's just not enough time for us to make an intelligent decision on what is the best method for us as a family. And so this is why we're doing the video like this. And so just to give you information to help make an intelligent decision. And so while you may hear me go through some of the same thing at the laptop meeting, again, we'd rather over-communicate this information again to help you make the decision. And so all students and parents are required to attend the laptop meeting, and we offer those as a big group, again, July 20th and July 21st at 7 o'clock. Again, it is mandatory that they attend one of those. Important items that we'll go through, again, we'll review the use of laptops in the senior year, some of the same slides I've gone through right now. We'll go into great detail about the acceptable use policy. We'll do some registration reminders, and again, you guys will then have to make the decision on whether you're going to rent or bring in a personally owned device. Once the decision is made, essentially next steps for that will be if you're going to rent or buy, will be to look at we have like a ticket system, and so red ticket or blue ticket. If we are going to be renting, then there's all of us, there's a student parent signature page that must be filled out. But you will have a rental form that must be filled out and have your red ticket, and you bring that to registration with you on July 22nd and or 23rd. And so at that time, you'll meet with our technology staff, and they'll make sure that all the documents have been filled out and all the appropriate things have been signed. You'll redeem your ticket. You have to show a student ID and also the padded carrying case that's required for students renting. You show all that, and we issue you a laptop. We'll scan it, again, just like we are issuing you a textbook. If you're bringing in your own, again, we'll have the same student parent signature page for the Senior Academy, but you'll have a student-owned computer form to fill out. Again, you'll be issued a blue ticket, and you'll bring that with you to registration on the 22nd or 23rd. We'll redeem your ticket, look at your student ID. Obviously, you have to bring your device in with you. We'll make sure it meets all the requirements, that it has an up-to-date virusware system uploaded on there. And then we'll install our software and register the MAC address for the PC for our system. And again, that's just the process that we'll go through for registration. So registration will be a very, very busy day for us down in the Senior Academy that day. So again, to talk about registration, again, it's for seniors down in the Senior Academy on Tuesday the 22nd, Wednesday the 23rd. We'll be down there between 9 and 3. Again, you'll have your tickets there of whether you're going to be renting or bringing in your own, red or blue, and we'll go through that process. You have to, one thing, we've been sending out reminders to ask you to bring in the registration packets that were passed out to students 7th period, probably even over a month ago at this point. But anything that's not been filled out there, you'll be required to fill out and submit to us. You can, if you find that at home, please get that to us as soon as possible. You don't have to wait to registration days to do that. You can bring those to the main office. We'll make sure that information gets submitted to the appropriate person. ID photos will be taken there for their student IDs, but for seniors, Prestige Photography is the group that we'll use in order to get their picture taken and have in the yearbook. I believe a letter has been sent home. It's on the website. I also gave one to students during my English class visits this week. And so there's good information there. Questions could be directed to Prestige, but there are important items there that they will be telling you as well. Students will be able to purchase parking tags. Those are $20. We'll have to have the vehicle's license plate number and the student will have to show us a copy of their driver's license in order to be able to proceed with that. There'll be one other item thing that's available there. We'll have somebody there to provide vaccinations. For the Indiana Department of Health has come up with new vaccination requirements for the class of 2015 for incoming seniors and all schools in the state of Indiana to have a second meningitis shot. And so obviously if you can get that done over the summer, that'd be fantastic. We will have like a minute clinic type thing here to provide those shots to students who may not have that on that date. I'm still working with the folks involved for specific details, but I'll send that information out come July. And so again, students, if we don't have all the updated vaccinations, students may not be allowed to attend school. So we want to make sure we get those things taken care of. Questions that you may have, we are going to be submitting a lot of things to our Team 2015 website, or uploading a lot of things to our 2015 website with forums and even this video. You can shoot me an email. I've answered a lot of questions thus far. Actually, most probably dealing with saying they're on vacation around the 20th and 21st, or registration. What can I do? And that's no problem. We anticipate some of those things happening. Again, it's easier to take care of it on those days. But if you are unable to attend, then what we will do is, just have you call us and set up an appointment to go through. We'll record my laptop meeting on the 20th and 21st. You have to sit and watch that. And then go through the appropriate forms and meet with our technology staff individually to go through the process that everyone will go through on the registration day. So we can make that happen, but students will not be able to use a laptop or have the one-to-one access until that process has gone through. We are moving down, or transitioning this summer to move down to the Senior Academy. Right now, I believe they can move our extension, which is 1701 for the team office. But if you call that and you get somebody else or nobody, you can always call the main office. They'll make sure and get a hold of us if something happens, like I said, in our move, where we're unable to get that. And so that's really all the information I have for you. Again, I really appreciate you sitting through this presentation. It's hard to believe that we're talking about senior year already, but I'm truly excited about it, and can't wait for kind of spending the last year together down in the Senior Academy. Again, please let me know if you have questions. Thanks so much for listening.